yourself says Mr. Thunder. I'm Mr. Thunder, and today is Monday, April the 8th, 2024. This is the podcast. If this is your first time coming to the podcast, appreciate you coming. If you've been here for a while, I definitely appreciate you for being a part of, this journey that we're on. Coming up on a year now, and obviously we're still perfecting the craft, but today I got a treat for y'all. I got a special guest, as you can see. If you're on video, on the audio, you're definitely going to hear him. So I'd like to introduce you to, matter of fact, I'll let this man introduce himself. So if you wouldn't mind giving us a brief introduction of who you are and why you're here, let the people know.
Yes, sir. First, I would like everyone to know to subscribe to Mr. Thunder's podcast. I met him while I was in Milwaukee, quality stand-up guy, and he has very interesting points of view, very intellectual, so I would say that first. Me, myself, my name is Alex Kiberu. I went to Marquette University. I now own one of the most successful basketball training outfits over in D.C. and Virginia, and that is primarily what I do. I'm happy that I'm able to do what I love, which is work with kids, work with children, work with teens, work with young men and young women who are trying to establish and succeed at some.
Cool. Well, that's what's up, man. Like I said, yeah, we did meet in Milwaukee. I was on some other shit at 311. I think that was the name of it. And he was a cool dude, but we kept in touch ever since then. So that's been cool. We've crossed paths many times over in your area as I was doing business out there. Got to meet some of your friends that you met over there. And definitely, man, you landed in a good spot. Things were going well for you. And so with that being said, I know you're new to the podcast or whatever, but have you listened to any of them?
Yes, sir. I've listened to about two and a half of very interesting. The particular one that you told me about, I took a lot out of that because it finding some of the things that apply to me and that we're going to talk about.
Cool. Well, that's the whole point, man, of this podcast is to be able to provide, like I say, the audio encyclopedia of wisdom, so that if somebody's looking for knowledge in a particular area, they can always pull from this collection. So with that being said, we're going to dive into what you're here for today, right? And one of the things that's been prevalent, in our society, especially for men, has been mental health, right? And how we deal with it, especially being men of color, how we deal with it, the perception of it, and, how it can take you to a dark place, right? And really the joy of talking about it is being able to talk about it because you were able to come out of it, right? You were able to come out of a dark place. So I know we talked a little bit earlier about that and things like that when they pertain to you, but kind of just give me, give me an enlightening synopsis of your experience with mental health.
It was very, very odd. Coming up as a child, I always had a little bit of sadness in me, but you know what it was. Thankfully, I got into sports, and that's one of the things that can help with situations such as that. But what happened, being quote unquote successful in this area and this place means you're making a lot of money. A lot of people know you, and you have a stature. Well, during that time, I started not feeling not quite right. I started isolating myself. I started not to answer friends' phone calls. Fortunately, the lady that I was with, she wasn't necessarily helping with the situation.
Right.
But uh, that
So what did success look like for you at the time? I'm not familiar with the business or whatever, but what does success look like for you? You know, just is it the number of clients you have? Is it the amount of money you have? Is it the amount of money you're bringing in? Like, what does success look like for you?
I think that's a three-tier question answer. I'm sorry. Because to me, success is every kid getting better and getting more confident in themselves, not only in the sport, but in their own personal life. Number one. Number two, of course, the monetary gains, and we will make quite a bit. Number three, success is those toys, those things that people see, and they see you in this and they say, oh, you're successful. But in all reality, I don't figure that to be success. I think the first thing is success. Who can you help?
Right. So you had that going on, right? Had that going on to where you were building a team, right? And you built a team of trainers. You had a lady friend, a girlfriend, whatever you want to call her at the time. They ended up being a part of the business in some kind of way. And then there was something that caused you to kind of come down from that success that you were having, and you labeled it as stress, right? Stress of the business, stress of the circle you kept, friends, family. It just all started to weigh on you. So tell me a little bit about that, man.
Well, and you brought it up earlier about being men, especially black men. And you want to take care of those people that are close to you. And so that when it first started, it was all good, but then the pressure started gaining more and more when it was almost like crack, the amount of people that wanted this product. And so I felt so much pressure to have it be better and better each time, and to please my parents, to please this woman, to please them. You can't please everybody. That's gonna make you go crazy, because everybody has their own. They need to please themselves, and then have the person like icing on the cake.
Yeah, so that took you down, right? It took you down to a point where, you felt like you needed to come up out that dark space. So what did you do? Like, how did you deal with that? What did you?
I'll be honest, the dark place was very, very dark. We're talking, I wouldn't leave my high rise for a month at a time. A lot of things happen in that situation that people don't know about. But how did I get out of that? Well, there's a situation where I was offered about $3,000 just to train another kid for a month. Still, I'm still the best trainer in the area. I don't say that trying to.
Well, look, man, we're not here to debate your level of, you know what I'm saying, how good you are, because it's already been determined for your success, right? So there's no question. But what I want you to focus on is what did you do to come out of that dark place, man? And you talked about seeking help, right? What did that look like?
It came on its own. There was nowhere else for me to go, because I was in Leesburg. I was in Leesburg, Virginia, where this particular individual wanted me to train their son for $1,000. But I just couldn't do it anymore. I was wearing myself thin. I was burning both sides of the candle. And I finally checked myself into the hospital because I felt like I couldn't do anything. And this happened actually a few years ago when I was in Hawaii and took that young lady to Hawaii, and I told her, I don't think I have anymore. I think I'm done. But in situations, you don't know what to do. And then you just want to keep pushing forward. So I gave it up, and I went to the hospital, and then they admitted me for 5 days, and did different things to try to get down to the bottom of why and what was causing this.
So without going into like the medical diagnosis of it, what did you do for yourself? You said there was one particular thing that helped you understand what you needed to do while you were in there.
Well, one, I needed to look inside myself and realize what I was doing to myself affects other people. But number two was also, being grateful and lucky of having the friends that I had. You being one, but so many friends that would call and text, and I wouldn't even answer them back, and they would keep doing it. They would keep doing it.
You said when you were in there, they took your phone from you, right?
Yes.
So what were you doing? You said you were reading some books. You started reading. What did you read?
In that war, they take your phone from you, and there's no TV. So I read, and I've read before, but particularly the Count of Monte Cristo by Alexander Dumas. Of course, Machiavelli, The Art of War. Things that could help me strategize, and when I come back out, because I'm not a quitter. And I felt bad because I felt that I quit. But how can I come now being stronger?
Yeah, it don't sound like to me like you quit. It sounded like you just kind of you had to pause. You had to hit pause on it, right? Things were going well. So you realized you had a problem, right? There was an issue going on. You mentally just couldn't do it anymore. So you went and you seeked help. You were ignoring phone calls and attention from friends that wanted to help you, so you isolated yourself. But in your isolation, you found help, and you read these books, right? So are these books, right? Can you name like just two things that you'll never forget, after reading them, that you knew you were just going to apply to yourself?
Two things that I learned from the books that I read that there's so many, but the main thing is when the enemy sees you as being weak, be strong. When it's all strategic, and again, especially in business, can be such a dirty game. I think why I succeeded so much was because I was actually had a good heart and I was honest. Kids can tell the fake from the real. But what I take from those books is strategize, be patient. I was so impatient. No, be patient. It'll come. It'll happen. And I took.
All right, that's for sure. So now that you've gotten that knowledge of thyself, right? And you came out when you came out of the dark place, man, left the hospital and just hit the ground running. What did that look like for you?
It's always going to be an underlying issue, but different strategies, as you have noticed. But I am more open to talk about these things, whereas before I was always somebody who wanted to fix everything by myself, prove to myself that I was a man that could handle anything that come my way.
Right.
But now it's a little bit different.
All right, so let's just kind of run through it real quick, right? So you had created a business model that generated success for you in your profession, right? In that you gained traction in people you surrounded yourself with, which also added a whole lot of stress because, obviously as you build business, there's more and more pressure to maintain it, be successful, and also relevant at the same time. You had a breakdown. You had a breakdown because, you weren't able to handle mentally what was going on, or you just didn't have the answers for it. So you chose the ladder of, not giving up, but you were at the point of giving up, and you found a way to seek help of your own. You self-taught yourself how to redirect your mind frame, your way of thinking. And then when you came out, your strategy was a little bit different, right? So if you could, tell Alex 2 years ago at the height of his success, knowing that this is going to come, right? If you give him any bit of advice, not even just Alex, just anybody who's out here grinding, doing their thing, knowing that a part of being a business owner is the dark place. What advice would you give them, just real quick? It's in passing. You're in line at McDonald's. It's just real quick. What would you tell them?
That's a good question because at that height, I knew something was going to happen because those are all the stories we hear in the Bible. Those are all the stories we hear about everything. You think something's going to happen. Now, how are you going to handle it? Now, I could have handled it a lot better, but I've learned now. Now, hopefully, I've been given some grace, and I'm going to light everything on fire. Like I'm sort of determined now. I was determined before, but only death is going to stop.
Okay. So you would tell Alex or anybody else, hey, you're gonna get to a point where you won't feel like giving up, but don't stop, keep going, know that there's grace, there's mercy, and things like that. So we definitely want to hear more about your story, like the things that you went through. Obviously, we don't have enough time to get into that right now. But really, we just want to focus on, men of color, business owners that are going through things that mentally are just taxing on them. I mean, we all deal with shit, right? But it's how you handle it and what you come out of it with. So coming out of it with is going to be what I'm going to ask you to label this podcast. If you had to give it the first slide, the title, what would you call it?
The rise, the fall, the comeback, redemption.
Rise, the fall, the comeback.
And because I believe, man, we need to try to lean on each other more than we do. We kind of keep things to ourselves, but especially black men. Because you guys have shown me so much that people say things, we're family and stuff like that, but you never really know until stuff hits the fan, and then you find out your family.
Yeah, definitely. Well, man, look, I appreciate you for coming on here and sharing a little bit of wisdom of the rise, the fall, and the rise when it comes to you. So before I go, if people want to reach out to you, tell us about your business, how they can contact you, and then if anybody wants to talk to you about what you shared with us today, or if they have a platform where you could, say a little bit more, we definitely want to know how to do that. So let the people know let the people know about the business, let them know how to get a hold of you, and then, we'll go from there.
That's the number one thing. Anybody who want to contact me and talk to me about this particular thing, the falling down, feeling like you have nothing left, depression, you can hit me up on Facebook. I think it's just my name, Alex Kiberu, right?
Mm-hmm.
My business, we're about to go ahead and, we're number one in Fairfax County, but we're about to go ahead and expand, and it's still my joy. It's still a joy to do.
So if people want to get a hold of you for your business, how do they get a hold of you?
Reach IG at Blockchain Basketball. www.blockchain-basketball.com. 240-350-1444. So we're the number one outfit in the area. But we also do strength and conditioning, and we also do remote training. I have kids that are training that are in Iraq and Sudan, and I'm just trying to make this thing different.
You're international with it. You're international with it, my brother. I ain't gonna lie to you, man. I'm not a basketball person, so I can only appreciate the craft for those who use it and what they use it for. But thank you, man. I appreciate you for coming on here. Definitely. Give me something to go away with, man, real quick. Something to go away with.
It's just like, don't take it that seriously. It's gonna be okay. We're here for a short period of time. Don't take things too seriously. You're gonna have your ups. You're gonna have your downs. And it's all part of it. How fun would the ups be if there were no downs?
Right, but it's gotta be that, right? It's gotta be that. It's the yin to the yang, right? So with that being said, we want to thank you, man, for coming on here. Alex Kiberu, Blockchain Basketball. Definitely look him up if you are on the East Coast, in the DMV area, right? Is it DMV area? How would you say that?
DMV, DC, Maryland, Virginia, but mostly we're pushing over to Virginia, but Baltimore, and sometimes we get requests to go out to Philadelphia, but that's what I'm talking about. I want to expand and make this something different.
Right.
Now the block part is something
totally international. There's anybody out there that's has a love for basketball, doesn't play anymore, does play, former player, current player, wants to learn, wants to coach, definitely reach out to Alex and be part of the team, be a link in the chain of Blockchain Basketball, because it's all about the strength and unity in the link and the success that we surround ourselves with to help us recognize when it's time to come out of the darkness by taking care of ourselves and our mental health, because that's what it's all about. Because if it ain't up here, it ain't in here. And if it ain't in here, it ain't up here. So we got to make that connection so that we can give it to you. So with that being said, this has been So Says Mr. Thunder. I'm Mr. Thunder. I'm a Native American of this country, and there ain't a damn thing you can do about it. You heard from Alex, Blockchain Basketball, and his story, so we definitely appreciate that. If you would like to be a part of this podcast, definitely reach out to me on Instagram at So Says Mr. Thunder. You can follow us on the podcast as well. This one specifically is Spreaker, but we are on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and any other podcast that you can think of platform. We are on there, as well as YouTube. So, hey, if you ain't heard it yet, you're going to hear it at some point. Just know it's here, and it's there for you. We thank you for being a part of this movement, and definitely don't hesitate to reach out to me. Until next time, I'll holler at you. Peace.
You got